An excerpt from Wangari Maathai's Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech. This is the speech which Wangari Maathai gave when she got the Nobel Peace Prize. What did she say? She said, "As the first African woman to receive this prize, I accept it on behalf of the people of Kenya and Africa and indeed the whole world. Although this prize comes to me, it acknowledges the work of countless individuals and groups across the world. They work quietly and often without recognition to protect the environment, promote democracy, defend human rights, and ensure equality between women and men. By so doing, they plant the seeds of peace. I know they too are proud today." So she was the first woman to receive Nobel Peace Prize for environment. In her speech, she said that she is acknowledging everybody's effort and that she alone is not responsible for this day, but all others, those who have fought to protect the environment, promote the democracy, defend human rights, also are to be awarded. I am also grateful to the people of Kenya who remain stubbornly hopeful that democracy could be realized and the environment managed sustainably. I am immensely privileged to join my fellow African Peace Laureates, President Nelson Mandela and FWD Clerk Archbishop Desmond Tutu, the late Chief Albert Lutuli, the late Anwar al-Sadat, and UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. She thanked these people for supporting her, for bringing peace and for bringing a good environment. I know that African people everywhere are encouraged by this news. My fellow Africans, as we embrace this recognition, let us use it to intensify our commitment to our people. She was proud to be an African. She knew that all the Africans would be happy for this achievement of her and that they would also embrace democratic governance, protect human rights, and protect our environment. I am confident that we shall rise to the occasion. I have always believed that solutions to most of our problems will have to come from us. She believed that our problems can be solved by ourselves. The solutions can come from us. In this year's prize, the Norwegian Nobel Committee has placed the critical issue of environment and its linkage to democracy and peace before the world. So that very year when she received the Nobel Peace Prize, the environment was linked with democracy and peace. For their visionary action, I am profoundly grateful, recognizing that sustainable development, democracy, and peace are indivisible is an idea whose time has come. She believed that she was thankful to the people who had recognized that sustainable development, democracy, peace, these three would go together. Development will be possible only if there would be democracy and peace all around. My inspiration partly comes from my childhood experiences and observations of nature in rural Kenya. As I was growing up, I witnessed forests being cleared and replaced by commercial plantations, which destroyed local biodiversity and the capacity of forests to conserve water. In 1977, when we started the Green Belt movement, I was partly responding to the needs identified by rural women, namely lack of firewood, clean drinking water, balanced diets, shelter, and income. Throughout Africa, women are the primary caretakers, holding significant responsibility for tilling the land and feeding their families. They are often the first to become aware of environmental damage as resources become scarce and incapable of sustaining their families. She believed that she got an inspiration from her childhood, from the nature of rural Kenya, because she was brought up in such a place where there were numerous forests. Later on, she found that deforestation was the cause of environmental pollution. So in 1977, she started Green Belt movement and she tried to identify the needs of the rural women because there was lack of firewood, clean drinking water, balanced diets, shelter, and even income. She believed that women were the one who would come to know about any kind of deficiency very soon. I came to understand that when the environment is destroyed, plundered or mismanaged, we undermine our quality of life and that of our future generations. Wangari Maathai believed that when environment degrades, the quality of life also decreases. Tree planting became a natural choice to address some of the initial basic needs identified by women. Also, tree planting is simple, attainable, and guarantees quick, successful results within a reasonable amount of time. These are all important to sustain interest and commitment. So, together we planted over 30 million trees that provide fuel, food, shelter, and income to support children and education and household needs. The activity also creates employment and improves soils and watersheds. So, she knew that tree planting was very important, and it became a natural choice, and it was simple, attainable, and guaranteed quick, successful results. So they planted almost 30 million trees that provided fuel, food, shelter, income, and even supported children and education household needs. Through their involvement, women gained some degree of power over their lives, especially their socio-economic position and relevance in the family. So she involved women of the rural areas in all such things for planting trees, and it increased their employment areas, and even it gave them some degree of power in their families. This work continues. Initially, the work was difficult because historically our people have been persuaded to believe that because they are poor, they lack not only capital but also knowledge and skills to address their challenges. So she says it still continues. Initially, at first, it was very difficult, but then everything changed. People worked very hard. It was easy to persuade them because they were poor and they did not have money, but they had knowledge and skills. Instead, they are conditioned to believe that the solutions to their problems must come from outside. She has said that the solutions of the problems come from us. But the people of the rural area believed that the solutions come from outside. So, further, women did not at that time realize that meeting their needs depended on their environment being healthy and well managed. And it was, to some extent, it was easy, but to some extent it was difficult to persuade people to work for environment, because women, they were not aware of their rights, and they were also not aware that they needed healthy atmosphere. They were also unaware that the degraded environment leads to a scramble for scarce resources and may culminate in poverty and even conflict. They were also unaware of the injustices of international economic arrangements. In order to assist communities to understand these linkages, we developed a citizen education program during which people identify their problems, causes, and solutions. They then make connections between their actions and the problems they witness in the environment and in society. So they were unaware of the degraded environment, how it can affect their life. They were unaware of the international injustices. They were unaware of the community's educational programs. Then they made connections between their actions and the problems in the environment and in the society. And they came to know that how important it was to clean up the environment.